Hello, a very good evening and a warm welcome to Prime News. I'm Iftiar Abdul Qadir. First, a look at the headlines.
The President says he is proud to approach the masses, fulfilling the pledges. Uday Gammampilla challenges the new Democratic Front leader to reveal the amount of cash taken from the Tigers. Government grants more relief for consumers during the festive season. Sri Lanka's economy expands. And on news overseas, Taliban warns US that it will be routed in Afghanistan.
We start off with the local news. The President has emphatically stated that he is not prepared to betray the country or the war heroes securing money from Prabhakaran's parents. He said he is a proud leader approaching the people after honoring the pledges given. The President made these references at his maiden public rally for the presidential election campaign in Anuradhapura. The massive crowds gathered at the public grounds in Anuradhapura were cheering, breathing a sigh of relief after the total elimination of terrorism which impacted the country for many years. Among them were farmers. They came from farmer colonies far away from Anuradhapura. They toiled hard to make the country self-sufficient in rice, making optimum use of the various concessions granted by the government for the agriculture industry. The entire grounds in Anuradhapura was a sea of heads. It could not accommodate the large crowds, which the security sectors found difficult to control. Blue flags were fluttering in the entire city. Addressing the mammoth gathering, the President said he had already fulfilled the pledges given to the masses. They had the belief in the farmer community and the working class. As such, they succeeded in moving ahead. He emphasized that he was prepared to approach any bank and secure funds and pass on the benefits to the masses after developing the country. But he declared he is not ready to get even 5 cents from Prabhakaran's parents and betray the people. He pointed out that he cannot dupe the masses by giving false pledges. He is not a leader who contributes to such false promises. The President also declared that he was not geared to grant elam. A farmer donated 300,000 rupees earned from cultivation to the President to strengthen his efforts of rebuilding the country. SB Disanayaka, Johnston Fernando and Indika Bandaranayaka, who crossed over from the United National Party to strengthen the President, were also on the stage along with other parliamentarians. And in other major stories, Western Provincial Minister Uday Gammampilla challenges the new Democratic Front presidential candidate to reveal the amount of LTTE money used for the presidential propaganda campaign. The new Democratic Front presidential candidate, in his first news conference, has said that he was prepared to launch his election campaign even by using money of Prabhakaran's mother. This reminds of the $2,200 provided by Tamils for Hillary organization to launch the election campaign of Hillary Clinton in 2008. It was later revealed that the head of this organization was an active member of the Tamil Rehabilitation Organization. After the startling revelation, Hillary Clinton returned the money. The dream of Prabhakaran's mother was the Elam dream. The public are making queries as to what right the opposition candidate has to use this money. He also queried as to the money received from Tiger Funds. Udayagammanpilla challenged him to further disclose how much cash he received from the Tigers for the posters that he is now putting up for his election campaign. The government is granting more relief to the consumers for the festive season. Accordingly, Minister Bandula Gunawardena said that it had taken initiatives to reduce prices of rice, wheat flour and sugar. The President, as Minister of Finance, launched a program on the 10th of last month to reduce taxes and grant relief to the consumers. As a further step, as many flour-based products are being used in the festive season, the tariff imposed on wheat imports has been completely waived. Accordingly, companies which undertake flour-based products have entered into an agreement with the Finance Ministry to reduce price of wheat flour by 10 rupees per kilo. Minister Gunawardena said that to defeat attempts made by traders to increase the price of rice by creating an artificial shortage, it had been agreed to reduce the tax on rice imports to 1 rupee and permit anyone to import rice. In the past 2 weeks, the prices of sugar soared in the world market. As a result, the local price had increased. As such, the Trade Minister said it was decided to reduce the import tax of sugar to 1 rupee. Accordingly, the government had done its best to grant relief to consumers with a reduction in the price of rice, sugar and wheat flour for this festive season. The country's economic growth reached 4.2% in the third quarter of 2009. It was up from 2.1% in the second quarter. The Government Statistics Office said peace is a key factor that drove the economy during this quarter. Director General of the Census and Statistics Department, Mrs. DBCS Vidyaratna said the stock market and hotel sector improved in addition to investment sentiment. She told a news conference that the industry expanded by 4.4% and services grew by 5.1%. Mrs. Vidyaratna said tea and rubber exports were affected by weaker foreign demand owing to global recession. But growth in other sectors not dependent on foreign demand, like fisheries and dairy farming, was above 5% in the third quarter of 2009 compared with a year ago. In industry, manufacturing grew by 3.2%. Electricity, gas and water supplies grew by 6.7%, with power value addition up owing to higher hydro production. In the services sector, wholesale trade grew 3.4% and exports grew 0.7% in the third quarter of 2009 from a year ago. Domestic trade was up 8.7% and hotels and restaurants up by 20.6%. Vidyaratna said domestic trade grew strongly because of the resurgence in trade in the north and east of the island, which is emerging from 30 years of war. She said the northeast region made by a very positive contribution to economic growth during the third quarter. The banking and insurgent sector grew by 6.8%, the Statistics Office said. Construction work is in progress on the rail track running from Vavuniya to Jaffna, which links the north and the south. It was in 1990 that the terrorists blasted the Nochimudai bridge along this track. With the return of peace to the north, the Yaldevi train is getting ready to run beyond Vavuniya, overcoming the Nochimudai obstacle. The bridge is under reconstruction. The work is due to be completed by the end of the month. Accordingly, the desire of the Yaldevi train is to run up to Omantai, reaching another juncture in the strength given by the government. Still in the local scene, 52 powerful claymore mines concealed by the LTTE have been recovered. The recovery was made in the Udayarkattu area in Pudukkudiripu. The Special Task Force succeeded in detecting these claymore mines during a search operation. The haul included 6 claymore mines, each weighing about 15 kilograms, and 46 claymore mines, each weighing 5 kilograms. The operation was carried out following information received by the STF. That's a check on the news here at home. The latest foreign news is up next.